through flight attendant training. I'm going to give you the real talk of how it really is to go through flight attendant training and pass successfully. I hope you guys can hear me today. If this is your first time, I am a new flight attendant for a major airline, and I have actually been through training quite a few times. I was lucky enough to get a CJO from about 5 or 6 different companies, and I attended training about 4 times. So I know what it is to go to training with a major airline. I know what it is to go to training at a regional, and there are some things that are different, but I'm going to prepare you for either one of those things. So if you're interested in going to training, I will say first, try to get your finances together. If you have family support or you have a job, stack your savings, ask for donations. Training is financially draining because you're going to be away if you're at a major airline for about 7 weeks. And if you're at a regional airline, you're going to be away for about 3 or 4 weeks. And I don't know a lot of people who can just go, a month and a half or two without working full time and just paying their bills. In a perfect world, hopefully you can have 6 months of savings, a year of savings, but not everybody has that. So that's like the first tip I have. Financially, you definitely have to make sure that your rent is paid if you have rent or your mortgage. Make sure that if you have kids, like you have a support system in place. Make sure that home is taken care of. Because when you're in training, when training starts, you really don't have time to figure things out. You don't want to be stressed about home life when you're in training. Let me take a sip of water. Ooh, I think you guys saw my little socks back there. I don't want to say my company's name, just because I want to help as many people as possible, and I don't want you to focus on my company. But I will say that I'm super happy with my company. I love a lot of things about my airline, and I'll just say this little snippet. I'm not going to get into it today, but I will get into it. I will give you the real talk about the airline experiences that I've had, some good and some bad, not to get off track, but I will say that the one airline that you think is like the best, judging from the inside of it, training with one of those great airlines that you guys think might be great, some of you, I will say it's 10 foot deep rotten inside. That's all I'll say about that. But I do believe that if you treat people horribly, which I've experienced at this airline, and this is the last thing I'm going to say, horrible things start happening to that airline. So all I can do in this moment is pray that everyone is safe, because I don't want anyone to be unsafe. But if you are a spiritual person, then you know that the karma that you give is the karma that you receive. And on the top, it's a long way down. So treat your employees well. Treat your front line well. Treat the people coming into your company well. And that's all I'll say about that. But moving on. Another tip I will have is just be prepared when you go to training. I have a list of items that you must get, like you have to bring. Some items that will keep you comfortable in training, some items that will keep you looking good in training. Um, I was on a strict budget in training, so I had to order like food, and like I had a food service delivered to me because I didn't have a car at training. Like these are all things that you need to think about that I've already figured out. So to give a tip, most trainings have like a breakfast that's available. Well, actually, the airline that I was just talking about, they didn't even provide breakfast in the morning. But the airline that I'm with now, they provided breakfast every day. And that's just like a small difference. But also like eating in a hotel, even if it's better than nothing, is not always great. If you have dietary restrictions, I do think it's best to bring like some of your own snacks, and you can substitute it out based on your health demands or circumstances. I know I was eating like bacon and eggs every day. I would like stuff it into a cup, and we would have to catch the bus at 6:50 in the morning. So about 6:42, I would go down and stuff the breakfast in the cup. But what I really should have been doing is, and I'm actually going to show you what one of the items that I've gotten, if I could turn the camera so you can't look at my messy room. All right, ooh, where are my socks? One second. I'm coming back, I'm coming back. All right. So, your girl's back. Like this, I'm not getting paid. I'm not getting paid to show this, but this is Simple Truth Organic. I really like this company. It's like a Kroger brand, but this is plant-based, zero sugar protein powder, and it's natural vanilla flavor. It has 18 grams of protein in it. It says from zero to hero. Like, this is something I could have substituted a couple days a week instead of having the eggs, because I don't have blood pressure problems, but my blood pressure has been up a little bit since training. So I can only associate that with the bacon and eggs I was eating every single day. And I thought I was being good because it was low carb. But low carb is not always good for your heart, so you have to have a balance. This is something that I'll link below of like foods you can get that are healthy and satiating, so that you can honestly go on the line and not have to worry about your health. And I didn't gain weight in training, and I actually lost weight on the line. I'm on vacation, so I have to go back into my schedule and maybe take off some of this vacation weight. But when you go to the line, like, you will be losing weight. Like, my body was tea. And I didn't realize how much weight was coming off because I was just like walking every day, but it was just part of my day. But back to training. Okay, so yeah, this is something that you should get, like protein powder, mix it with like water or whatever you like almond milk. In a major airline that I was with, that I won't mention the name, you could not have blenders in the room, no type of electronics, which is crazy. But in a regional training that I went to, I brought my blender, and I was making smoothies every single day. And at the regional, I love it because you were in a hotel room all by yourself, and you probably had, I know I had a really nice bed in a really nice hotel. I have some great suggestions and great input about each airline that they they all did some great things, but they also left some room for improvement, some more than others, I will say. But the next tip I would love to give about training is that it is a continuous interview. So you think the interview is over once you get your CJO and you think like you have the job, but they can literally see to it that you do not get the job if you have shown characteristics that they don't like. If you're late, they can dismiss you that day. We had someone that was late and they got written up. And luckily they weren't sent home, but I've heard of people that were late and they got sent home that same day. So you want to make sure that you are early. 10 minutes early is on time is late. They are looking at you to see that you would be a good employee, that you would be trustworthy on a plane when no one is looking. Not always. Some planes have cameras and the flight deck can see you. But if you're doing the right thing, it doesn't matter, you know? So just always do the right thing in training. I think towards the middle of training, it always gets stressful. And because I've been through several trainings, regional and legacy airlines, I've seen the same behavior. Like people get so stressed and they start acting really bad, like a child. Like people get stressed and like people's true colors come out, you know, and then by like the middle of it, you're just done with the BS. And the people that you would normally talk to, you're just not talking to anymore. And people can get really hostile. I know that I experienced extreme bullying. And at this particular company that I'm talking about, that everyone loves, I didn't feel like anything was done. And you think like, oh my gosh, you're a grown girl. Like, how could you be bullied? First of all, girls have been bullying me my whole life. But I'm very secure in myself now that when I look at it and I see it, it's like a child that's crying. Like, what does this child need? Why are they acting this way? Are they hungry? Like, are they tired? What's wrong with them? I look at it like eyes of, why are they so acting so badly? Like, what is wrong with them? It's sad to see, but when you're in a training on an island for 6 or 7 weeks, it gets very hard to have a grasp of your surroundings and your environment. You don't have your friends, you don't have your support system, you don't have other things. Like you're just in this classroom for the entire day. I know that some classes start at 7, some classes start at 8. Sometimes they start in the afternoon, but you're literally there from like, let's say I had an afternoon class that started at 1. I was there till like 8 or 9 p.m. on most days. And I had a class that started at like 8. I was there till after 5 on most days. There was one airline, a regional, and we had our training in Miami. They're the only airline that like every day we stopped at the same time. Like we were there from 8 to 5 and the training was in the hotel that we lived in and we had our own rooms. Like that was the best setup. But every other airline, like we'd start at a certain time, but then we'd end whenever we ended. Maybe 1 or 2 days we got out late. Early on time, but other days we would go over, plenty of days. So this is building your reserve so that when you get on the line, some airlines you max out at 15 hours. So they're trying to get you ready for the line when there's delays, when you have to stay an extra day because your your flight was canceled. Like, you have to be prepared for all of those things. No day was ever the same in training. So I would just say, like, keep your mind right. I think the most successful people I've seen in training are those that had like their outside things. I know the valedictorian of my last training, all around cool cat, good guy, smart, helpful. Like, he was the one that got the awards. He was the valedictorian. He got like awards for being like the most helpful person. Like, he was the it person as far as personality, and he was nice to everyone. He, as far as his regimen, he would walk 3 miles at least, or 6 miles, something ridiculous, every day after class. And he invited everyone to go with him. And he even said to me, like, Tina, you need something to relax. And I think walking would have been great for me to do, or some sort of exercise. Like, I like yoga. Some of the classmates, I like swimming as well. I went swimming a few times, but we had a classmate that was a swim instructor, and she went swimming every day after class. Every day, rain or shine, I saw her swimming in the rain. So you have to choose kind of the thing that keeps you like sane, because you're going to have so many like personalities around you, so much energy. And we're probably not used to living in such close quarters for such a long period of time. And you're living in a hotel room, sharing a bathroom, sharing a room, trying to get used to a new job, learning so much information that it's great when it works out and you like your roommate. But like, I had the most horrendous roommates, I would say. And that's going to be another story for another day. I'll probably need wine on that day to tell you about my crazy roommates. But this is getting a little bit long, but I want to talk a little bit about how to study, because that's what you're there for, right? Let me take a sip. They're going to be throwing a lot of information at you. And I don't think the information is hard. I'm not the best student. It took me a lot to study because I didn't know what my study habits were and how I learned. But if you know that, that's like half the battle. Like, the people who just got out of college, who, were younger, not saying you don't have to be young to do this. You don't. Don't let that discourage you. Do not. But I'm just saying, like, it is true. I can see them learning so much faster. Like, it was nothing for them. And for me, like, not being like the greatest student, I've have 5 real estate licenses. I've taken tests, but those tests were hard for me. So I think that you have to learn your learning style. Like, some people would just like to learn on their own, read it, and then maybe attend a group session. For me, I think it was like attending the group sessions really helped me. And unfortunately, I got kicked out of a study session. That was the week that everyone was kind of like showing their true colors. And for me, that was pretty much detrimental to my finishing the program, because I knew that I needed to be in that atmosphere to learn what I'm missing or what I needed to learn. And that was done purposely. And unfortunately, that didn't work out, but everything does work out for a reason. So I want to say in all my videos that if you get dismissed, we had people that were dismissed like a couple days before graduation, and I've experienced, people just leaving on their own. But if you get dismissed for any reason, I just want you to know that whatever happens is supposed to happen. Like, everything doesn't happen maybe the way that you want it to, but everything does happen for a reason. And just take it from me, like I thought like, oh, this is the best company and I just got a CJO so easily, and like everything's moving so fast, but this actually wasn't the company for me. And I'm happy I'm not there. And now I see why I'm at the company that I am at now and how much better it is for me. So just know that if you do get dismissed, which I hope you don't, just listen to my tips and you will be safe. But if it happens, just know that there's something better or it's not the right time. I've heard so many stories from other people say like, oh, but my mother ended up getting sick and passing away. So I got dismissed, but I got to spend that time with her. And if I was in training, then I wouldn't have been able to spend that time with her. You know, like stuff like that I've heard, like, whoa. So just don't be sad if something happens. But if you study, like I said, find your study method. If you need to study on your own, if you need to read through it, whatever you do, do it daily. Like if they're giving you videos to watch the videos, take notes on the videos. If you're a note card girly, get your note cards. If you need 7 hours of sleep, there's no reason for you to lose sleep. Like get sleep. Like I was trying to stay up late to study, but then I wasn't sleeping and then I wasn't memorizing anything. So how am you supposed to learn? Like even someone said like you learn by sleeping, like you have to sleep. So the last time I passed, I slept, and guess what? I passed. I didn't get dismissed every time for not passing the test. There were different reasons that we'll get into in another video. But there was a time where I just messed up on the evacuation, and my last tip in this video would be like, just to study in a group for the evacuation, say it out loud, say every step. If you gotta turn on the ELT light or the emergency light, excuse me, if you gotta get the flashlight, if there's something you need to do every action while you're practicing. Don't just like go through the steps and then do it all willy-nilly, because then when you go to do it, you're gonna do it all willy-nilly, and that's not gonna get you to pass. This is off the cuff. I have no notes, so I hope these little tips have been helpful. I actually put together a more strategic and well thought out tip list for you for purchase. Ain't nothing free, real talk. But I will leave the link below if you'd like to support me. Like, follow if you want more videos. I have lots of experience to share. I can't share any proprietary information that's company related, but I can share a lot of information that will get you through the process, because I got through. Any airline, most likely, I have experience in, or I know someone who does, and I can speak on it. So yeah, leave your questions below. And, you know, and if I see that you guys like these videos, I'll do more. So yeah, I think that's all I have for tonight. But maybe another day I'll talk about another subject, like what you need to pack, how it is being on the line, you know, how much money we make, anything you guys want to know, just ask me below. Bisous, real talk.